World News Live. Here on this January 8th, 2025. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Get a mic check right at the gate. As always, right on cue, there's Raymond, Steve checking in. Thank you guys. I appreciate the love. You guys always being here, joining me. See Brother Tooge out there. Think you E Fitz, Bella, Chris, Jim, Dave, Kathy, Paul. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys are doing well, staying warm. I could see my breath as I speak. It's crazy. It's that cold where I'm at. Literally 40 degrees in here. 15 outside. And it's a cold one. Anyhow, looking to get through this stretch. Can't wait till spring, I'll tell you that. Got a lot to talk about here. I'm going to start off with, let's just go with the very first thing that we've got in the headline here for tonight. We've got some samples that were taken. And I want to thank everyone out there that sends me in information so I can do this right here, so I can relay it to everyone else and let folks know what's going on. Maybe no one else does this. Maybe this is the only time we see any results. So, someone in Florida got some fog droplets, a sample of it, and they're saying the results come back saying that this is Seriata marcescens, which can cause various infections and different types of ailments. So they paid to have this done, and they say the results state that the fog contains a gram-negative bacteria, that Serratia marcescens. Serratia marcescens. It causes the pink mold that you find out in any type of damp environment. And this bacteria can also cause urinary tract infections, respiratory infections, wound infections, pneumonia, sepsis, meningitis, endocarditis, ocular infections. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got something coming back in these tests, and I think that you guys should be made aware of it. Now, will others go out there and do the same thing? I don't know, but this is the first of its kind that we've seen. I appreciate them going out of their way to do this. We need stuff like this. We need to start to get answers, know what we're dealing with. If you're facing any of those ailments, anything that I was just talking about there, and you came into contact with the fog, this is something that I would look into. There could be something off the shelf that, or medicine out there that treats this. That's all the information that I got on it. I wanted to make everyone aware. Yes, the fire in California is apocalyptic, and it's a weapon. And we're getting hit with weapons from an unseen enemy. But guess what? It's the same old enemy. It's the same one that does it all. The only ones that could do it. And you already know who that is without even having to say it, right? What I call the hand. The mystery fog would not be the first time that a chemical has been released on the populace. This has been documented. Our military and our government has done this. They've been running experiments on us forever. Matter of fact, this place, I would argue, is just one big experiment. So, many different ways. So the chemical stuff, indeed, it's going down. In your food, in your water, in the air. Okay? And the mystery fog definitely something that was very odd because it was seen by way too many people in many different states, and people that have lived in certain areas for many years on farms and cities. They've all wrote me giving the exact same details, and they say that it was just different. You know, when you wake up and you see fog every day in certain areas, certain time of year, all the time, it's what you call the normal fog. This was different. It was thicker. It sat in the air different. Okay? It sat in the air different, and it had a chemical smell to it. Lord McCormick in the UK. Thank you for the coffees. Hey, man, I stand with you guys. I wish we could all link up together. You know, I truly do. I wish we didn't have the big pond between us, my brothers in the UK, brothers and sisters. Shout outs to all you guys out there. I seen you guys in the chat. And the Daz, Crown Jewels, obviously. All my cats, New Zealand, Japan that checks in, Canada, Mexico. Worldwide, baby. Wherever the good Lord will let me reach. Yeah, and it was Jesus' love. Like the name. So there you go. If you guys get any test results, anything like that, even if you want to remain anonymous or anything like that, just to get the info out there and to let others know this is what we're facing, this is what we're dealing with, it's critical. So, Pixie in the house. All right. Going to touch on this developing breaking story here real quick. If anyone is in Delaware, police in Sussex County warning that the Purdue plant has a hazmat incident. So the police there in Georgetown, Delaware, telling residents, anyone that lives within a half-mile radius of the Purdue plant to shelter in place. There's some kind of hazmat incident ongoing and unfolding. They say an alert for a hazardous material incident went out just before 7, and this is located at Savannah Road in Sussex County. Thank you, Jeff Bohr. Much love. It says, we've had somebody mix 2 chemicals together at the Purdue plant that has put off a smell. We've got a chemist en route to tell us what they need to do. No injuries have been reported, but what is this concoction? I mean, you mix the wrong chemicals in anything, you can put off a deadly gas, anything like that. So, a heads up, if anyone is near this plant in Delaware, an ongoing hazmat incident, if you see a plume of smoke, anything like that, just know this is something else on the radar. Okay? Talk about something that could put off some invisible poisons. I mean, they really don't even know what they're dealing with here. Just a mixing of chemicals. Hopefully it doesn't check out to be nothing major. Here is a quick update on the bodies we keep finding in these compartments of these planes. Uncommon. Much love, brother. Gabe. 2 dead bodies now discovered on a plane at a Florida airport. And they found them in the same place they found these other ones. And it's in the wheel well. Boeing and other airlines saying that, those areas cannot be entered unless you're doing it from the outside when it's open. When the wheel's down, when it's landed, at some point at the airport, someone's sneaking in and getting into this compartment, thinking that they can hitch a ride. Now, the reason they're thinking this is because people have done this and got away with it, but it's super deadly. They're not understanding. I don't know what they're thinking, to be honest, but maybe they're thinking it's going to somewhere they need to get, and I don't know. But there's no pressure, and it turns super cold in there, and when you're way up there thousands and thousands and thousands of feet, once you're in there and you're stuck and you're finding out it's too late and it starts to freeze you to death, it's too late. You can't do nothing. No one's going to hear you scream. Be horrific. But they're not going to be able to breathe. all that well. Gee, thank you. It's just not worth it, man. Just not worth it. You know, you could do technically, if this was a free flowing planet, you could drive, from here all the way down to South America. Wouldn't it be crazy? And not have to worry about nothing, like cartels murdering you along the way or anything like that. Like, this place is just a disaster. I can understand when the souls in heaven were calling to God saying, nope, we don't want to go back in there. That place is just too crazy. You know what happened last time? The souls didn't want to come back into this plane. It says it right in your good book. They flooded it. Yep, they were calling up to heaven, complaining of just that this place was too horrific to even be in. So they flooded it. Next time's by fire. I'd buckle up. He comes like a thief in the night. Jump into the economic stuff here real quick. And touch on this before I jump into the fire stuff. Some of you may be investing in gold and Bitcoin and things like that. Well, I think both are going to stick around for some time. I think obviously the strongest one and the staple one to have is gold. But the asterisk to that is that your government could come and try to take it under the guise of a national emergency at any time. They can also come and take your Bitcoin, and they can take the Bitcoin easier. Now, one could argue they lost this or that, blah, blah, blah. But something that's digital can be tracked and traced up to some pretty fine points, up to pretty much wallets and things like that. They know where it's going. Gold, on the other hand, they can't get their hands on it. Obviously, if you've got it hidden, if you've got it buried somewhere safe and secure, they can't touch it. That's the pro about that. Now, if you were to get court ordered to do something, let's say like these guys just did, you might have seen a dip out of nowhere in the Bitcoin market. Well, this is how the market is ran. And I've never seen it ran for anything else to this degree like Bitcoin. It overrides everything the news does on it. Overrides gold, everything. Not that it's better than gold, but in terms of how it works. You see, the market with Bitcoin is highly driven off of news and off of what is called FUD, which is basically bad news for the market. And anytime it starts to go into a bear market, there's a cycle of FUD that rains down. Articles start to come out left and right that are negative for the space, and this, in turn, is their excuse on what's bringing down the market. But what's happening is the big dogs are selling, and they're taking profit this whole time is what you're seeing. And that's what's bringing down the price, because money doesn't just disappear into thin air. You see, it is always taken as profit by someone, some individual out there in great amounts. And that's what reduces the price. So, in this instance, we have a Bitcoin investor ordered by the courts to reveal the crypto keys in a $124 million landmark tax case. And the outcomes of this is going to affect everything. And it's as the news drops, it's going to affect things. So Trump or not, things will go into a bear market. And it's always a pump and dump. When it comes to digital assets like this, they are digital nothings. And do not forget that Bitcoin was built on an NSA platform. These are facts. They are Satoshi. This is why it's all throughout the American system and why you can invest in it in your 401k and everything else. And what that means in the end is that they can steal it. Anything that your 401k is attached to, the stocks and all that, they can sell them and dump them in mass and leave you holding the bag. And it's what's called the Great Taking, and it's coming. The Great Reset, however you want to see it. It's coming. It's the Great Robbing. Last time was the Great Depression. They plotted on Jekyll Island, and it's known. Do your research. And you'll know they plotted the Great Depression, and it was a plot to steal the wealth from all the people, not just of America, but around the world. It affected everyone. And they stole the farm that you should be sitting on. They stole your grandparents' wealth. They sure did. They stole all of it. And we know this now. It's proven. And what's crazy is since it's proven in effect, the people should get their stuff back from their seeds, from J.P. Morgan Chase, the guys that were in on this proven fact, their seeds that own these big banks and all this money, they should have to give it back. You see? It's proven. It's known. If you just tried them in court, well, the end of the story is this. They're about to do it again. And it's, again, what I call the great taking. Thank you, Andrew. And it has to be associated with the Great Reset and what they call it. It has to be, because that's what you would get out of it. It is the big event. Okay? And this is why I told everybody, you get caught with everything in your 401k. When this happens, you're smoked. You just imagine if they announced something with bird flu. Did you forget? Or what happened with COVID? Go back and look at the markets. They tanked. Bad. It'll be worse than that this next time. And you're probably not going to be able to get money out of the banks, is my best guess, because they want you to get onto their digital currency. It's already there. They won't dare call it a CBDC or anything like that to scare you away from it. But the wallet is there. Everybody that's got a bank account in America, that bank account has a digital wallet. It was ordered by the Fed. Every one of them do. And what this will do is when you can't get money out of your bank, they'll tell you to download this app. This is also why I don't think EMP is going to play here. I think cyber attack is, because they need everyone's electronics working to get onto the system when they pull this heist off. But even though they send you money, there's also the chance that they could forgive your debt. If they forgive everyone's debt in one big false swoop, it's the trap of traps, and it will be connected to a digital currency when they do that, without a doubt. And to me, they'll do whatever it takes. They've done it before in history, and they'll do it again. And they've even talked about it recently. So, all right, look at them talking about a Bitcoin reserve as well. That's way different than a gold reserve. I'm not even going to get into all that, but my point here of the story here is the court just ordered these people to hand over their Bitcoin keys. Thank you, Arma. Yeah, the greatest depression is upon us. We're already there. We are already there. We're there. Let me also point this out. You're going to hear more and more about this. This is called the egg. This is a new at-home nuclear reactor that is for real, being pushed by Enron, and it's going to power your whole home for a couple decades. This is pretty crazy. And of course, what happens if there's a house fire, this thing's in there, and this thing blows up? We don't know yet. They give all these specifications over here, talking about the chips that are in it, the heavy water pumps, the heat shield that's on it, and go into all this talk. And they talk about limitless power. And it's going to be for somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000. Like, it's not going to be easy to obtain for everyday people at this rate. But it will be out there to get. I guess everyone's got choices to make. If you knew that you could spend $20,000 on one of these eggs and never, ever have to pay for power again. And look, how they sell this thing is crazy. In the video that I was watching, they're outside camping, and they took the egg from, like, home with them. And they have their TVs set up out there. They're playing video games, doing all this out in the wilderness, under the stars, is how they're trying to sell it. And I was like, all right, that sounds good and all, but I'm a realist. Like, if you take that with you out there, you're rolling around with a small little nuclear reactor, no matter where you go. Again, what happens if you're in a car wreck? What happens if this thing detonates? This is real, guys. This is real. It wouldn't be hard for somebody to like grab a Cybertruck, throw one of these things in it, and just drive it off wherever they want. Dude. That's what I'm thinking. I think of these instant things. And if you're taking this thing out into the woods, what about the house? It's not going to have any power then. Yeah, it won't. It won't. It will have no power at that point if you're going to take the egg with you. So the whole house can be cut off as you take it with you. That's what they're not saying. And these are the things. Enron.com, the egg. Yep. So, limitless power. Oh, it's a fake. It's a parody. Well, why would it be a fake and a parody at Enron.com, the official page, if it's a parody? Huh? Why would it be on Enron's official page if it's a parody? Somebody riddle me that. It was a skit, but why? I don't get it. Why would it? Why would they be pushing this as fake? Well, Dan sent me this here right before the show, so all I did was looked at it real quick, and I mean, what is this? It's a pair. I don't get it. I don't get it. People trying to say it's a pair. I don't get it. Why is Enron.com pushing something fake? Nowhere on here does it say it's a parody. Nowhere on here does it say it's fake. Nowhere does it any of that. There's guys on stage.
This product is going to revolutionize 3 critical industries: the power industry, the independence industry, and the freedom industry. This product is going to revolutionize all 3. Are you getting it? Ladies and gentlemen, we have harnessed the power of the atom. Introducing the Enron egg, the world's first.
So they did all of this to fake it. All this is I just don't get it. I just don't get it. If that's the case, or people are saying, I just don't get it. It's got a pre-order on here. Everything. It's got like it's on Enron Corporation, all rights reserved, on their official site. So, like, why is this a parody? If that's the case. I just don't get it. Again, Enron.com. It's on their official page. So you can access their employee portal, the company store, the career, everything. So, regardless, that would be it just makes me think when I see this whole story. You know what it makes me think of? Tesla Energy and Tesla Power, and that is the way to go. And look, I can't believe of all people, Elon, with the name Tesla, hasn't brought this out and hasn't pushed it or something, because they've got the technology. They've got the technology. It's all about JP Morgan Chase telling Tesla, we want to meter everybody and charge them for their electric and control everything. That's why we're in this situation. Or we would have had energy out of the ether a long time ago. Keep it pushing here and try to get to this fire, or the fires. Conspiracy fact or fiction? Well, they're saying high fluoride levels are now proven to show lower IQ scores in children. And they've been putting this in your water the whole time. You wonder why states all of a sudden this past year, and even the federal government came out and said, oh, no, do away with the fluoride. Do you think they knew this? Do you think they might have known this? I would say so. They've known this for decades. It's the whole reason, amongst other things, it was put in there. It was to attack the pineal gland, to calcify it, the seat of the soul. It's what it was for. And it's ridiculous, man. If you can catch your own water and clean it, I suggest doing it. Then you know how clean it is, and you can test it and all that. Test kits out there are not that expensive. Anything out of the city water tap is going to be loaded with stuff. All right, last time I told you about this. This is pretty crazy. The egg price is just going through the roof, and it's not going to stop. We've now surpassed where we were the other day, and it continues to rise. Shortages being reported now at large supermarket retailers. This is what happens, man, when you start to run low on certain things and the price starts to spike. Look at this. Some of these stores, these are the images that people send me. And much love. Shout outs to all you guys to send it my way. I appreciate it to the fullest. Church, I covered it right at the beginning. If you want to go to the front of the stream, I started off with the test results on the fog, and I named off what it was and everything there. You can see the shelves here. Just emptied. And if you're facing this, I feel for you. Yeah. Our infrastructure falling apart. I want to point this out because when Biden got into office, it started off with an infrastructure bill. I doubt anyone remembers, but it did. And it was supposed to go toward our bridges and everything else that are falling apart. And I think that it's very symbolic of this country. It's falling apart. 45,000 bridges, 20% of our roads are in poor condition. That was from 2021's report. Nothing's been fixed since. And there's just all these taxes that they've got already that go into place. I talked about all the licensing. You shouldn't have to have a license to go fishing and hunting and all this other crap. In some states to collect the water and all this other crap, wherever they can get you. But there's taxes on top of the licenses. There's property taxes, which should not be in play. There's building permit taxes, capital gains taxes, cigarette taxes, dog taxes, federal income taxes. Like I said, fishing license taxes, food license, fuel permit taxes, gasoline tax, a gift tax. It's just insane. Liquor tax, luxury tax, marriage license tax. It just goes on and on and on. Everything that you could think of. Social security tax, school taxes are like in everything. You know, you're looking at your paycheck on there and taking all this stuff, all local school tax. Take a huge chunk out of it. It's insane, man. They're just everywhere. And the U.S. government is suing and going after Warren Buffett and his Berkshire-owned company, this lending company, because they're saying that they were putting out predatory mortgages. You guys may have fell victim or may know somebody. This is basically they're giving loans out that they know could not be paid off and that they know these people would default on. Right? So that right there is scandalous. And remember, he's tied into all the stuff with Bank of America. He was dumping all of his stocks. He dumped like $1 billion. Like he dumped like a record amount. Let's not forget that. It's connected to all this stuff, the money laundering in these banks. And it could have been also because of this. If he got a tip off of anything heading his way, any kind of charges or anything like that, he would have dumped. And that's what he did. He's super old, man. He ain't got much time on the clock, but Look at this. Consumer credit card debt unexpectedly plummets as the rate signals a deep recession. I say replace that with depression. That is where we're at, if you ask me. Everything just falling apart. The jobs, the companies, bankruptcy, the debt stacking up. There should be new jobs, innovation, and all these things rolling out. Our manufacturing is just flatlined, it's dead. It has to be revitalized. We've got to do something huge. If we get into a trade war, we're not going to have much to offer. That's what's scary about this whole thing with Trump. And look at this. What's this say? CNN reported, and the dollar surged on this, that Trump was considering a national emergency declaration to justify his new tariffs. Let me tell you something. We are about to get our whole world rocked come day one. It may come and pass, and people are like, oh, this came, he signed some executive orders, nothing major, blah, blah, nothing major in the news. But, like, you have to pay attention to the details, and it will. When he starts signing off these executive orders, he done said a national emergency is going into effect because of the border. He is sending the military after the cartels. It is going to be a war on our border. That is one. Now he's saying a national emergency because of the tariffs. Like, what is it, dude? What's it going to be? Which is it? Like, it doesn't matter at this point. Dude's signaling chaos. Like, it's bad enough to have one thing pop off where you got to say that you're in a national emergency. Like, going to war with these cartels and all this other stuff. But another, this is like an economic national emergency. That's what he's not saying, and that's the writing on the wall. This is an economic national emergency. What is going to be attached to this? What would be if he did? I'm just saying, like, how many emergencies, which one trumps the other ones? Trumpy. Once he declares a national emergency for this cartel thing, nothing overrides that. Like, you're in it. It's just like lockdowns. It's like once he declares it, he declares it. When's it going to end? If he declares this national emergency, which he's going to do on day one, when's it going to end? You're going to be chasing these goons in this country for decades. This is unprecedented. This starts something that is unprecedented. This sends out strike teams across the country to round these people up. And granted, the murderers and the rapists, they need to go. But this has been a trap. It set the stage for this. I'm telling you. It sets the stage for them to build camps on the border. And they are. They're building camps. Everything we warned you about in Jade Helm years ago, it's happening right now. And it's everything to do with that border and everything to do with all of it. They're mounting up. And they're going to start rounding people up. Okay, now that's all fine and dandy for all of us. For the first, months, year, more attacks start to happen, trucks getting blown up here in America, because it's going to escalate. You think that he's going to spark this war and that there's not going to be any blowback in here? It's already begun. It's going to escalate. All types of crap's going to start to pop off. You understand? We've entered a window. We've crossed the Rubicon, man. There's no turning back. I swear to it, it's on. Like, we're in a state of perpetual war here on the home front. Most people not even realizing it. But, boy, oh boy, look at this. The Great Taking. This is going to come out of nowhere. On Trump's watch. Some kind of crisis here, obviously. In it, they're going to take everyone's money. I've warned you 1,000 million freaking times. And it's going to happen. I hope most of you have made your moves. I know a lot of you have. But for anyone else out there that's still sitting on the fence wondering, you're running out of time. We're all running out of time. When this whole thing goes into motion, they're going to wreck the economy. They're going to bring it down, and they're going to reset it. It's got to come down. You've always known it was going to come down. You're about to live through it. It's going to happen on Trump's watch. He's just a man. The signals it's going to happen. I think that they feel that they can push this over on the American people easier on Trump's watch with his leadership than Biden or anyone else. They got everybody corralled around him. You see what I'm saying? And now they're just like nodding their head, a bunch of bobbleheads, to whatever he's saying. And it's stupid. You need to be calling them out on honesty. And but it's different. If a big event goes down, none of that matters. He's just going to come out and say some things, and he's going to have some answers to the problem that was created. And it's going to be that. It's scary how all these people are going to they're already led astray. They'll just listen to whatever he says at this point. That's the scariest part. And he's going to take them onto this beast system. And here is the super scariest part to me, is if this bird flu or a deadly something is released in 2025, sometime into a year or two into his presidency, here with the timing. But they signal 2025 is going to happen. If that happens, remember what I said. All these strike teams no longer are trying to round up no one in terms of that's on this list, illegal migrants. They're going to be trying to round up anyone that's not jabbed. And you can't prove it. This is going to be a whole different rodeo, a different ball game. All these distractions are like, if there's one thing that's super scary, it's the deadly disease that we just went through one huge beta test for. What do you think a real deal is going to do to the markets? Tank like never before. Yeah. Right there, man. All right. Let's jump into the fires. As the Los Angeles wildfires rage. Oh, man. Prayers going out to everyone out there. I don't know who's lost their life tonight. They've given that there's been some fatalities, but some of these other people like posted stuff to social media and like they've never been heard from since. I showed the video. I posted it here on YouTube earlier of everything, the UFO, the orb that's in the fire, and I'll get to that. And I also showed the video clip of this right here. It's one of the craziest clips because the guys, they're in their house still, and the fire's all around. It's everywhere. At this point, everywhere around them, they're so engulfed there, I would highly doubt that there's a safe way out. You could hop on the road and try to drive it, but is it blocked? Is it... who knows what? They're surrounded by fire, and it's absolutely crazy. Some of these people, I'm telling you, they're going down with their house, or at least they're riding. I don't know. They may not even be dying in the house. I fear that a lot of these people are going to lose their lives because it was too late. They have nowhere to go. When you're trapped inside of a fire, it's one of the scariest things ever. I've been there. I've been in a wildfire right here on the mountain where I sit. The whole thing ablaze. And no one to help. And I ran in with buckets because we had a line we were trying to cut, and bringing buckets up from a neighbor's and just trying to throw water to stop something. We were trying to do anything we could. And as I ran up the road, I quickly found myself surrounded by fire. You jump the road, and it's a surreal moment. It's a surreal moment. I just kept pushing. I kept pushing to where I was going. Even though at that point I knew I was surrounded. Once I got to where I had to get out of there, I I just jumped through the line. I jumped through the fire and rolled, did barrel rolls, like the stop, drop, and roll. And I did it going down a mountainside. And dude, trust me, I know a bit of what some of these people are going through. It's a nightmare. It's absolute nightmare. And I believe that this is a weapon. I believe that this is an attack. All the signs are there. I watched the signs. They're dropped in occult, dark occult, magical form in these talk shows by their shills. Rogan dropped one just within the past months, like this past year. He had a guy on. He's like, yeah, this guy I was talking to. He kept him anonymous, I do believe. He goes on talking about the stuff, and then other people talking about Dewey. Okay? And shout outs, much love to everybody that sends info. Again, somebody tagged me today, and it showed a clip of what looked like something on the ground burned, and like it was burned, and even the ground was caved in. It was on fire, but nothing was there on fire. It was like, a laser hit it. What was super duper crazy is like this was like on the concrete sidewalk and everything. There was something that was sitting there at some point that was blue, and this thing is burning on fire still and everything, but the blue was not burning. You know that the tests have been shown. Just go look it up. I ain't got the video on me right now. Go look it up. It's out there of them using a laser on different colors and frequencies, and that it'll burn red, green, yellow, orange, but when it passes over the blue, it doesn't. Okay? This has been seen time and time again. This is why when you go back and you look at all the footage of all these blue roofs that are still standing in Maui and all the places, it goes this way. And this has been proven. So, what is the cause of these fires officially right now? Unknown. There's speculation of this and that, but officially, it's labeled as an unknown. And I'm going to tell you here this evening, right before, let me just jump over to my Twitter here, right before we went live. There was another fire that broke out. It's going to run down through this, some of these updates. This was just west of the Hollywood sign, and it was growing and moving fast. I saw an update here right before I went live, and this thing had grown all the way up over the mountainside. It could, if it's that close, within walking distance to the Hollywood sign, it could officially get it. I'm more concerned about the everyday people out here losing all their possessions, their livelihoods, their homes, businesses. If you didn't lose it in a scam, now they're burning you out. It's an attack. And we've got some very crazy footage. There's something going on. Okay? There's something going on here. Now look, this is a major alert. If you've got any friends or family that is near the Santa Susana Field Laboratory, okay? This is a nuclear chemical rocket testing and TCE area in California. If the fire spreads through here, you have the potential for a massive chemical cloud. And I'm not kidding. We've seen this years ago. Los Alamos, I think it's New Mexico. The huge fires broke out, and it did the same thing. And I'm going to tell you from experience, because I've been doing this a long time, man. I've seen this over and over again. They shut down the rad detectors, the air detectors that traces this, because they have them across the country. the site. They shut it down during the Los Alamos event as the major plume made its way out and away from the area. They shut it all down. Watched it in real time. I know this because it's right there. We went bonkers over it, knowing that they downed the system when this massive plume went through. And then that was a decade ago or so. This is like, it's happening again, but in California. You've got to watch this. There's rad detection sites. We were talking about them here recently. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to pull this up tomorrow and have to zero in on this because this is huge. Just like earlier we were talking in Delaware with the Purdue plant and the orders of something in the air. Like, man, wildfire smoke is bad enough, but in all the stuff that could be in it, that it's burning up. But this is like the top of the line bad right here. Chemical cloud of radiation and toxic elements that this is not good. Any rain that's dropped out of any storm systems created by anything that comes from this, it's not good. When any testing ground like this goes up, this is not good. So again, all eyes on this area, the San Susana Field Laboratory in California. I'm going to update on that. You can see it's there in the Southern Buffer and Bell Canyon area. We'll keep an eye on it best I can. But just, it's really an alert to everybody out there that lives in the area, or if you got friends and family. Man. All right, now check this out. We seem to have something going on. And I'm going to tell you, again, from experience, from watching these things throughout the years, and being a drone pilot and operator, and just consuming all this footage and all these articles and all these stories for all these years. I know a drone when I see one. And I would say even a highly sophisticated drone. It's moving how a drone moves, okay? And then there's what I classify as a classic UFO, UAP, or orb. It could fall in any definition visually, okay? This is not a, per se, big disc UFO like that. This is more of a ball of light, orb, that is moving like a missile all over the place. It goes wherever it wants, however it wants. And it was caught. I put it in the video footage here earlier. It was caught on film. I think I just got the video up top on it, man. This is a close-up. I've got to play this. You're going to see this object right here. You're going to see it come into the frame and fly and change its course, the trajectory of it. It switches up. This thing is big. This is from a camera far away. Look at this. And I go over it a couple times. Here it comes again. You see that? You see that? We have someone observing. Do you understand? We have someone using this. Okay? And there's a look at Los Angeles this morning. Apocalyptic, okay? But let me get back to this other clip here of this UFO because, man, I could just keep saying that, like, this is crazy, but, like, this is crazy. Watch him. Here he is. Watch him come in here. Right there. I'm going to keep my mouse off the screen. Watch this guy. Blow it up even more. Comes in up here. Right? He's zooming in up here. Down. Right there. Watch him. He's all over the place. firing off that wind. Look at him. He dive bombs down. He dives down here and above the street. Okay? And he's doing whatever he wants. And look, zoom, zips right back out. Ball of light, super high speed. Stops on a dime. Turns around, goes wherever. Just looking around wherever he wants. This is crazy. These are the things right here that are doing whatever they want, going, and look what they're doing. It's observing. It's all in everywhere around this smoke and around the fires. Remember, these are supposed to be evacuated areas, largely right here. It's apocalyptic. Look at it. It's dark over here from this stuff. These things are flying around. All right? These aren't drones. Okay? These are orbs. Okay? We have orbs doing this. Here's some more footage, man, of the fires. Share with you here a couple clips off my feed real quick. And then we're going to touch on to some other critical things about the fire here. Or fires. Man. Everyone losing everything, just getting torched. Andrew says orbs are AI. I would say some technology could be, personally, but some of these orbs have been around a long, long time, like longer than I've even been here. You've been here. They've been here a long time, and it's those that interest me. There's someone also here in these orbs that are shutting down our military facilities. I've said this in the past. They're shutting down. They're doing things against our governments. I'm not talking about the drones recently, okay, and all that. I'm talking about these orbs. They've shut down missile silos in the past and like crippled our military. The guys working with them aren't doing that. The fallen aren't doing that. They give them this stuff. It's almost, and look, there has to be a good guy. There has to be a good guy in all this. The way this fundamentally works in this realm is duality. There's a mirror to every atom. There's a mirror. There's an opposite to everything. A yin to every yang. There is. Okay? And you see the level of evil that's here. There has to be an equated righteous power. Never lose sight of that. Call it what you want. All right? It has to exist. And I feel like it's observing. I know they're observing. I know this. I know it. We're in a crazy time, guys. You ain't never gonna shoot down one of them orbs. You can shoot down one of these drones in this net, but like, and you can even say it like a classic disc UFO you could shoot down in this net, but like an orb, has anyone shot down an orb yet? No. No. All right. Keep us going. I'm sure you guys have had your experiences out there. All right, let's look at some of this other information here. 2 dead, many injured, tens of thousands forced to evacuate. I think they said 100,000. Over 5,000 acres burned in the Palisades. Earlier, the one fire, and I tweeted out an update on it. It was said to have been around 1,000 acres or whatever. It swelled to 10,000, one report said earlier. These fires moving at a super rapid rate here. I'm going to play some of these clips, man. This is the one of the guys inside the house, and we don't know if they made it out or not. Man.
be okay. You're gonna be okay. All right. You're gonna be okay. Oh shit. Welcome to the park. Yeah, don't worry about that, dude. Look at that. Oh shit. Scary. Yeah. Okay. The plastic is gone, dude. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. For the water, right? Yeah. Oh, shit. So, where's the gas? Outside. Okay, the gas is off right now. No, don't open the window. Don't open. Don't open anything. Just stay over here. Fuck.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that they're in that home? Like, it's just insane. There was no other update from them. I pray to God they made it out safe. Total destruction in Malibu. Look, I don't wish this stuff upon anyone to have their stuff burned up. People would say, oh, the rich are getting their karma and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. I mean, the way I see it, this whole place is going to get lit up like this here before too long. Get used to it. Somebody's coming back.
Okay, I guess let's park along this street, yeah? And then, Dave, if you can, just go ahead of us and try to set up a signal.
Right here. This is where it's got to be. This is, oh my God. What? I've never, look at this. Beyond comprehension. Oh. That's very sad.
It's like a war zone, right? In the meantime, LA mayor not seeming to care much. She's in Africa. Let's go over some of the details here real quick, though, so that you know what's going on here. Actually get a refresh here. It says that we've got the fast-moving fire sweeping through the LA area. As you know by now, mandatory evacuations for over 49,000 people. Thank you, Ben, for the comment and the knowledge. Appreciate that to the fullest. There's not just one fire here in this whole situation. You've got, you can see here, it says the fire remains 0% contained. And this is the Palisades fire. The cause unknown, which we've done talked about what it could potentially be. Same thing that sparked all these other big events. And it would always remain a mystery until someone catches direct video of some stuff going down. It's probably the only way that you're going to be able to expose the fact that they can just go out in the middle of nowhere and just and spark one of these things. They tactically get away with it. Although I will say this, when it comes to Texas, remember, we caught the closest thing that I've seen yet, a helicopter in broad daylight. It was on a farm cam that had caught a helicopter going back and forth in the sky there in Texas, where our cattle herd was, and got hit with fires just like this. Within moments of the helicopter going back and forth, you could see the smoke starting to billow on the ground. Couldn't see no laser per se or anything like that, but you could see the helicopter going back and forth in a normal area with nothing going on. And the next thing you know, the smoke starts rising. So, AccuWeather estimates 52 billion to 57 in damages. To 57 billion in damages here in economic losses. Gavin Newsom has deployed 1,400 firefighters and declared a state of emergency. Remember, they're also in a state of emergency over the bird flu. Nearly 300,000 residents and commercial customers are without power in the LA region alone. High winds have added to this. Again, it is 0% contained. And you can see right here, you've got the Eaton fire right here. And then you've got the Palisades fire, which is down here all the way to the freaking coastline. And then you've got the Woodley fire also that's popped up. You've got a couple other hot spots here on the map. They don't have names to them, but you can see they're definitely hot spots where fires are. And then, I don't see where it says Hollywood anywhere on here. I was trying to find the one that just popped up near the Hollywood sign, but that just gives you an idea right there of the size of all this, man. Some of the aerial images that I had seen earlier were just kind of crazy, man. Like that right there. The entire blocks of homes. This is like a wasteland. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? All the homes are reduced to cigarette ash and the freaking trees are all standing. The trees are supposed to be what carries the fire from house to all these places. Oh my gosh. You can see them everywhere. Look back here. Look back. Every street you can see rows. You can see all the rows of the tree. Even some like here even have the leaves on them. Look at them. Like here. Like even right here. You can see the leaves. You can see full trees. Like untouched. How is it possible? You already know. We are being attacked. We are being wiped off the planet, erased. Just. Oh yeah, it's Maui. It's Texas. It's the same. Dude, when you see something like this, look, you can see the trees as far as can be. Like, it's just nuts. It's just insane. It is just insane. What brought the fire there? The trees in the wilderness, as you saw in all the clips earlier, the trees were on fire and all that other stuff. They would catch everything else on fire. Trees didn't just magically not catch on fire. I was watching a clip from James Woods. We're going to get some of that here later. What was catching fire right next to the house behind him, though, there? It was a tree, and you could see it was all burning up. That's what doesn't make any sense. This is different. Like, this whole neighborhood, there's like nothing left. Every single home is gone. As far as you can see, it looks like an apocalyptic wasteland, man. This is crazy. That's a loss of words right there, man. Prayers. Where will all those people go? How many people left? How many people stayed in their homes in this? How many bodies are in that? Animals. Dude, I pray to the Most High. People get the help they need, but man, I think it's far from over at this point. This says right here, this is the mayor cut $17 million in funding to the fire department while she's in Africa on a taxpayer-funded trip. And the place is burning to the ground. There's reports that the fire hydrants are running dry. Okay, here's some powerful video right here. This is people trying to get out of there with their horses and all that. Can you imagine trying to get out of there with it's one thing to have to leave your house and all your belongings behind, but like you're trying to get your live animals out of there.
We now move to a different part of Southern California, which is also on fire. This is the Eaton fire in the Altadena area. And for the first time, our colleague Gina Silva is giving us a look from the ground. Those are horses, Gina?
Those are horses, yes. There's a woman that just came down the road here, and she's trying to get her horses out of here. But as you can see, we are on New York Drive in Altadena, and this entire hillside is on fire. It has already crossed the street, and there's a building here that is in danger of also going up in flames. I don't know exactly what it is, but I believe it said water meters, something like that. But you can see this is an incredible wind-driven fire. The Eden fire started around 6:30 p.m. with just an estimated 20 acres. And the blaze, as you can see, it has quickly exploded into more than 200 acres, and it keeps growing. There are so many homes here in danger, and that is why officials have issued a mandatory evacuation order in the area that is just west of the Eden Canyon Golf Course. People living on these streets also have to evacuate immediately. And I heard a lady earlier saying she didn't want to leave because she's got animals. And so there was a sort of a thing that was going back and forth. But people living on these streets, they have to leave immediately. You can see how dangerous the situation is. These are the streets: Kinalea Canyon Road, Outpost Lane, Glen Springs, Coolidge, Miranda, Roosevelt, Vernada, Kenclair, and areas east of Altadena Drive. As you can see, this is a fast-moving fire, and these winds are absolutely wicked. And I think that we ourselves are going to have to end up moving because our vehicles are down here. And this just keeps moving down. Now, we came from upland, and I got to tell you, oh my goodness, the winds out there were so strong. It was difficult to stand in one place, so we were concerned that a fire could break out there when this one broke out, and we were sent to this location. But as you can see, Pasadena fire, LA County fire, there are so many units that are here battling this blaze. As I said, there are so many homes that are in danger, and at this point, we did hear that one home is on fire. And right over here, Joab, you can see more people coming with their horses. They're trying to rescue their animals. Can you imagine just, oh my goodness, these embers flying everywhere.
Wow.
Hi there. How many more horses do you have?
We have a couple we just let loose over there. We're trying to get as many as we can out. Yeah.
Are any homes out there on fire?
Honestly, I did not pay attention. I just drove straight to the barn to get my horses out and get the rest of these guys out. We're not just gonna let them burn.
A bunch in there still. How many more? We don't know. I don't know how many. How many did you let out?
We took about 4 of them in trailers, 2 in the different trailer, 3 in another one. So there should be at least maybe 12.
About 12? Are there more people out there right now?
It's a whole bar.
I gotta get pizza. I got, let's see. So that's 4, 2, 3, what is that, 9? How are these horses doing? 11, 12. There's 12. Yeah, no, they're pretty wired up. Yeah. They're getting used to it now, but when the wind's blowing and the embers are, they don't really know what to do. Have you seen anything like this? Look at that hillside. Yeah, I've rescued
before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, please be safe.
Yeah, thank you. You be safe too.
Yeah.
I'd
I
be
think,
getting
Joe,
on the
we're going
horse
to have
and
to
riding
end up
around.
moving because I could see all of the
Well, look
firefighters
this
that were
way. There's
stationed
no
at this
fire
location
out this way.
and the police officers. They already left. And
Okay.
again, this is New York Boulevard. Altadena is up here, and this is Bradley. And the building that is very close to being on fire, and it may be before the end of the night. I don't know exactly what it is, but I did see water meters. What does it say here? It's the Pasadena.
All right, so that shows you that area and what's going on there, man. Man, it's some intense stuff here. Now, I got to open up something here real quick, and I got to share with you some information pertaining to the insurance in this area. This is highly suspect, and I feel like that this is an attack. Okay, it's all part of an attack. Okay, it is. It's the facts. It's the truth. It is the truth. Okay, it's all part of a well orchestrated plan here, and it's to again almost steal everybody's stuff to wipe it out. When even if you have money, people have insurance for a reason, and they have insurance on their multi-million-dollar homes, property, everything you can think of, everything that you've accumulated in your life, all your possessions, everything. That's what gets wiped out here. Like, that is so devastating. Every family picture you ever had, everything that you could even imagine, I mean, even your animals are die in this event. Well, they make you carry insurance for that reason, right? Well, like, what happens when the insurance drops you and no one wants to pick you up, and they drop you for no reason, and they do so right before this fire? Hundreds of policies canceled right before the wildfires strike. See, I don't believe in coincidence, and I know how these criminals work. Do you see what's going on here? Yes, they're wiping out this whole region, and an unsuspected populace is getting wiped out. Gone. Yep, just that quick and easy. Everyone losing everything. I mean, like nothing left. When you see cars with their wheels melted down and all this other stuff, and like there's nothing left. You've seen the other shot of that other neighborhood. Man, it just, these are little things that tell me that the criminal cartel's at hand. Do you see? You see? This is, if you're an investigator trying to bust someone that's committed a crime, these are the things that you're looking for. Little things that stand out that shouldn't. This signals someone had foreknowledge, knew that this was going to happen. Oh, do you know what kind of can this opens? See, they're not perfect. And you can catch them slipping in their tracks right here. And this is a perfect example. State Farm's not the only one. But you've got all these policies getting canceled right before the fires hit. That's criminal. So as an investigator, you got to say, hold on. How deep does this go? So I'm gonna play this video clip. I'm gonna let this lady speak it. Her experience, what's going on, it's exactly this. Listen to what she says right here.
My parents' home.
I know the feeling.
And they just they got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old. And through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old, that they've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California.
This is a setup. This is a setup. Do you see now? Do you see? This is a well-orchestrated, planned event to go after all this property because it's susceptible to it. You can trust nothing. You can trust them not at all. Look, we learned the hard way when we dealt with the fire. The government came here and we fought a fire on our own property for a long time and just got it to a point where we thought we saved it. Had one little tree stump burning and told them about it. Their units were here. We left believing that they would not let our place burn down. They did. They did. They did. They let it just burn. So I know. These people are being attacked, and you just got to be I don't know, blind to not see things like this. When you have a large-scale cancellation and all these people standing in the street, in these fires, talking about this, that they just got canceled. Dude, this is criminal. This is criminal, large scale. It's a weapon. It's in itself, it's like a great taking. They're stealing all this. They're running the people out, and who can take that kind of loss? They've lost absolutely everything, minus the money they've got in a bank account at this moment. Every physical possession that they own has been reduced to ashes. And somebody knew that this was coming, and they had to have had a meeting because multiple companies did this and were in on this. This means that this is like Illuminati, establishment level, grand scheme, because this isn't the only time that it's happened. We've seen this weaponry used before. This is crazy. How bad this is going to extend out to be, I don't know. It's already apocalyptic looking there, and it's already bad enough. So now you know. There's a whole scheme attached to this. This is criminal. There's a criminal element that has been exposed in these fires already. We've already busted it wide open. Do you understand? This is real. Right in front of your face. You'd have to be, again, blind or wanting to ignore it. This is huge. And for the people that lost everything, when they find this out, when all these families come together and they're all saying the same thing, I'm telling you, they're going to be like, dude, there's a lawsuit here. There's something. Somebody knew something. How did all these companies, like the timing, there's no way. They're right. They're right. someone investigating this would say, you're right. There's a criminal element to this. An upper hand knew this and spread the knowledge to these companies, which means that they're tied into this. They're implicated in this. They are. They had foreknowledge that an event like this was going to happen. And it really comes down on the local government. Newsom and all them, and the mayor, and all them that dropped the ball massively. Look, people were complaining about having water pressure issues because all the testing wasn't done right. Look, hydrants are running dry. That's what the fire people are saying. How can they fight a fire when there's no water? This sounds like a setup to me. You're telling me the local city of Los Angeles, all of a sudden when it's needed, the fire hydrants are running dry? You're right next to an ocean. Like, this is a setup. Do you understand me? As an investigator, you're coming across clues and you're seeing things that just right at the gate just are screaming at you. All these things. From all the houses reduced to ash from the trees still standing. From the insurance companies already canceling before this, right before this happened. To the water being cut off in the whole city, to the fire hydrants. Like, dude, this is a setup. This is crazy. This is insane. Like, how are you supposed to do anything? Everybody's going to lose everything at that point. You better hope these fires don't come your way, and if they do, you better have a plan. That's what I said after the fires came here last time. We were devising a plan. I've even put it on a table to get an old fire truck that's out of commission, like an older one that's still good or whatever. The pump still works good on it. Because, like, somebody's got to do something. And those are only going to hold like 1,000 gallons or so of water, even the big fire trucks, which is not a lot of water, but it's enough to knock something back and potentially, if something hasn't spread at the moment, to stop something. You're definitely not stopping these wildfires with just the truck pulling up. You've got to tap into a fire hydrant, into the local water, and you're telling me that they're doing it and it's dry? Dude, this is criminal. Beyond criminal. Beyond criminal. Like, if there's sheriffs around, they should be arresting the mayor and then literally for dereliction of duty and for all this. If there's any righteous judges, should be calling them into court and everything else, like tomorrow morning. Like, your ass is in here now, like an emergency court summons. Why is the water off? Like, somebody answer this question. This is, I don't know how many times I gotta say it, criminal as it gets. This is a setup. It's a huge setup. Man. Oh my gosh, man. We gotta put a new name on these fires. No, they're not wild in a sense. They get their own classification now. Weaponry. Yeah, I spoke on the blue roofs earlier. Yeah, and if you're building anything, I suggest you put a blue roof on it. Man. This makes you think if you're anywhere near fires like this, you might want to check your local stuff. Make sure there's water flowing out of hydrants and all this other stuff, because normally I would like to think that in any instance that I've ever recalled, I've never heard of water running dry in the whole city like that. I've never heard of it. I've reported on so many fires, so many events, so many things, situations. I've never heard of something like that. That is crazy. That is a setup. That's a setup. Like, who ordered this? Who allowed this? But who did it all? This comes down on Gavin Newsom at the end. This dude should be fired and, again, pulled into a courtroom. But this goes beyond that. Again, people knew at a high level that these fires were going to happen. So much so that there was a big meeting and all the insurance companies, the heads were told. And that they strategically went through and seen who was in these areas and canceled all these people's stuff. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Some of us are not stupid. Some of us can see it clearly. It's a weapon, so people can stick their head back in the sand or whatever. We're being attacked. They're tearing this place down. Time you see it for what it is. Thank you, Carrie, for the super chat. Better hope they don't do this coming to a town near you. Skeeby in the house, man. Thank you. Appreciate the support, guys, for real. Look at this. As I was telling you, LA's Democrat mayor slashed the fire department funding by $17 million. As the city burns, the hydrants are dry. And the place just burns. It's crazy. And you can't make this up neither. Look at this. Los Angeles County Fire Department had donated or given away all this equipment to Ukraine. So tons of all the stuff that they could use right now for the people in Los Angeles and LA and to fight these fires, they gave away. It all went to Ukraine. All with all this money they're sending there to get laundered. This is ridiculous. Like, again, it's criminal, and Biden should be held in jail or in court for treason, but you know Trump's never going to do that. This freaking clown show. Just like he wouldn't go after Hillary. Oh, he'd fool his whole base into thinking he was going to get him in there. But then he didn't do nothing. He didn't even go after her. It was all ruse. When will the people learn? Maybe after you spend some time out here watching this from the sidelines and you see all these events and you see who keeps doing it, who's behind it, and it all leads back to the same hand that they're all characters here on this world stage. Once you get there, then you see. Then you see. But for someone just waking up, trying to wrap their head around this, this can be a bit much, I get it. But I give it to you raw and real, as best I can. Discernment's the best thing to learn to use. Discernment on all this stuff. And I look at it with an investigator type of eye. When I do, we just start taking notes, and it's just all these things are there. And when you get to that point when you find yourself basically in an investigation, there's something going on every time you put money on it. So, I mean, you're not sitting there taking notes and writing things down for nothing. If nothing was happening, you wouldn't be taking notes. There'd be nothing to write. There'd be nothing to talk about. All right? But then there is. You see? Just like we're doing here tonight. There's something criminal that has happened large scale. Give away all the surplus equipment. Make sure the water runs dry. All you really got to do is spark a fire, which is not hard to do in dry conditions, and just kick the winds up. And they can control that easy. They can control that easy. Here is the sitting president, apparently talking about this, and people got pissed off because of how he handled it.
They got notification yesterday their home was probably burning around. Today, it appears that maybe still standing, I'm not sure. But the good news is, I'm a great-grandfather as of today. His granddaughter. This time, I'm a baby girl, a baby boy. So I can remember this day for a lot of long reasons. Thank you, Brett.
That's very good. Thank you so much, everybody. Make your way out. Thank you, Brett. Thank you so much. Make your way out. Make your way to Mark. Please go this way. Thank you so much.
Took 0 questions. People are like, are you kidding me? He's talking about some baby being born and everyone just lost everything. Yeah. So James Wood here, or Woods, play this clip.
I'm 77 years old, man. I can't walk up these hills. It's like Mount Everest there. It's like, pretty steep. So, it's just you. I posted this on X, but Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night. She came out. I'm sorry. Just, one day you're swimming in the pool and the next day it's all gone. But she came out with her little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house.
Oh my gosh. James Woods, we all hope that you will be able to rebuild your house, maybe starting with that little Yeti piggy bank. And we're just glad that you're okay and your wife is okay.
I'm sorry,
you have your
I'm
lives.
usually...
Yeah, no, I mean, this is real and it's raw.
I thought I
and
would
you,
be stronger than this.
you don't need, you are, you know what? Strength is not measured by whether, you hold in crying or not. Strength is what you are doing now and helping your neighbors and shining a light on the great, amazing work of all those firefighters and emergency crews out there. You have so much strength, and we appreciate you coming on to reflect what so many others just like you are experiencing in that raw emotion right now. We wish you the best, you and your wife, as you rebuild your lives. So many people are doing that right now and trying to process what's going on. So, James, and also keep us posted.
Yeah, rebuild with what? With what? Like he said, his granddaughter or somebody came in with the piggy bank. Like, let's start to rebuild and all this crap. But all these people that live up in that area is getting burnt. There's nothing fake about that. And they're losing it. And if he lost insurance ahead of this, along with anyone else, I really feel for the people that lost the insurance thing, because it's a complete loss. You have to come out of pocket to rebuild everything. And who has the money to do that? Yes, some of these people have some money and this and that, but thank you, Lakeville, for gifting all those memberships. Look, I learned something some time ago about the whole Hollywood setup that, because I dealt with some of these characters, that it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Like, there's some big famous people out there that are not rich, and kind of like getting Mike Tyson getting played by Don King and taking all of his money. It's like, yeah, he can be famous, but it's like they're used. They're put to these big loans and they're put on, just like all the rappers and all that. They don't own the cars that they're out there driving and all this other stuff. There's all these behind the scenes things. So people think that they're rich and all that, but then when you get to hearing the other stories, like the personal stories, they're like, oh no, it's not all glorious. Some save their money, some have the funds to maybe rebuild, but it's not. Look, I forget his name. I can't think of his name. I have a guy from Hollywood, an actor that was in Jurassic Park and everything else, a well-known actor, Randy Quaid. They came to me, and they're from right here in the United States, and they explained to me some crazy crap years ago, and they came to me for help, basically to air it out and to put light on it, that they were being attacked. And it's by what they call star whackers. Okay? And the star whackers basically ransom them. And if they leave and go out of town, say they got multiple homes, these people will go in, almost a squatter type deal, using California's laws and whatever else. And they would try to occupy and take over these homes. And they had Randy and Evie Quaid. And shout out to Monograph. He's the one that brought him my way. They were stuck in Canada because these people attacking them, these star whackers as it was, was trying to set them up and do all this stuff. And in all honesty, if they would have gotten killed, these people would have claimed all their belongings and all this stuff. And what was even crazier is it seemed to be something orchestrated at the highest levels, because they were in Canada having difficulties accessing all their stuff here in the United States. It was crazy. And it was clear that someone was attacking them and like putting them in a bind, in a bad position, and that this stuff was real. And they had the craziest stuff to say, because they pretty much felt like they're like, they were on them. They were like trying to get them. But they explained that this isn't like new. Like it's something that happens. There's like a nefarious group out there that does this type of crap to the Hollywood stars, specifically. And I thought that was crazy. I had to tell that story and get it out there. But yeah, that was just wild. And look at this, and look, you got and I follow James on Twitter. He's had political statements he's been making and always made throughout the years and this and that. But aside from that, here's right outside his house.
You're looking good. Your house is not on fire, but it's... I'm here in case some embers land on it. Hope all your windows are closed.
Yeah, he says our deck 3 minutes ago. And then they were leaving because here's up on the hillside. I'll play this right here. This is the houses around him.
Standing in my driveway getting ready to evacuate. We've got a lot of planes going over, dropping water, but
what's the one thing that you see on fire? That he's about to evacuate, and what's the one thing? The house isn't on fire yet, but what it's the greenery. It's the trees. It's the trees. And it's just like, hold on. In these places where the trees are still standing, it's like, how is it? Especially with the leaves and everything else, if that's what's carrying fire to these places. But yeah, that's just one instance. A ton of people losing their homes, so I see it as an attack again. And I'll continue to update on this as I get more information. This is going to be one of them stories that until these fires, they're nowhere near, they're 0% contained. This is big. This is devastating. We're going to be talking about this for some time, so I want to keep it pushing here, try to get some other updates here out of the way. As well, we've got the FBI confirming that the Cybertruck bomber sent these emails talking about gravitic drones and this new technology. So basically, they want you to understand, or they're trying to like reinforce that there's something here with that the technology is real. The FBI is basically telling you that, yes, this is all real. That's what they're doing here. They confirm it. They confirm it, okay? That the email was real, and that, yeah, this is the case. The U.S. and China do have these gravitic drones. That was some big information that came out of nowhere in this event. This is all orchestrated by hand, man. This is all, it has to be. For all these little things to be, it has to be. Has to be. This is being done by the hand, as I call it. This is a huge orchestration. So the same hand is behind the drones. The same hand is behind the attacks that went down. All of it. You see? And they can only be one. You see, it's always back to the same source. And, I gotta mention this. Everyone getting these clips from Sean Ryan, well, finally, someone called it out from a higher level where they reach millions of people. They were saying, look, Sean Ryan is pushing propaganda. Like, this, they've basically proven that that's what he was doing in these releases that were supposed to be interviews, was just releasing propaganda. And that in itself is like not right. It's like it's fakery and all this stuff, and that he was gonna go in hiding and all this other stuff, and it's like, wow, it's that bad. Like, you guys, like stop being a CIA front. Like, we knew it. We knew it and we called it out. It's ridiculous. But real information was dropped in it. But we can see who's doing this, who's behind it all. It's a big op. Let me go on here to Sam Altman. Some of you guys may not know who he is or care who he is, but he's a big name attached to Open. Wow. OBS disconnects and connects for the first time tonight. I put suspicious details around this. Thank you, guys. Tupac's with us. Much love. I put Sam Altman behind the murder of that kid because his family's saying he didn't commit suicide, and then it's all set up. Thank you guys for the feedback. Sam Altman now says OpenAI is losing money. But look what else. Look at this. Look, his sister files explosive lawsuit alleging sexual abuse from 1997 to 2006. Are you kidding me? Okay, so this dude has a dark past, and I put him as involved in the murder of the guy that just died, and now this, like, put him away. This demon. Put him away. Well, these guys get money and think they can get away with anything, like Elon. So, do you know what Elon's doing? He's doing a lot, right? He's got all this money, he's doing huge things, but check this out. He is planning a remote facility in Memphis, okay, that's going to deal with AI and all this stuff. It's going to take stuff to another level. Some are calling it the Chat GPT killer. He's already introduced Grok over on X. But he plans to double the power here, I guess, going to this place. It's going to be a new pinnacle of AI technology. So this is going to be based in the Memphis area. And they're talking about how it could also create a boom in AI stock here in 2025 as this whole thing gets underway. But you're talking about a big brain center. Now, I warned about this before, and I associate this with the beast, okay? And beast consciousness, okay? Which is the jinn, the dark spiritual forces that they're using. Well, those forces are using technology almost like Frankenstein to try to bleed through. I always compare it to the Wizard of Oz at the end, the great and powerful Oz that's projected. It's kind of like that. And what this means is that there has to be a base, there has to be a spot, like Crystal City, like where Oz was, where the Wizard of Oz was in the castle. There has to be a main spot, a hub, where all this goes down, where data is processed. Do you understand? Something has to power this thing. And this is it. Something has to power the AI consciousness, is what I'm trying to tell you. And remember, Elon said before, they're trying to summon the demon. He said this. He said it flat out. Okay? So you tie all this in together. What is he doing? He's building this massive hub. It's going to be the largest in the world. For what? The consciousness of AI. Do you see? Do you see now? So imagine in the future that there's this beast consciousness overseeing everything. And like, people are like, it's got to go. Like, it's evil and this and that. Well, now you know where it's going to set. Yep. Some things are out there in the open, huh? All right, we can keep it pushing here. Biden trying to ban cigarettes on his way out. I can just imagine how many people are taking a draw or smoking right now when they see this. Like, what? Like, look, I quit smoking, and I told you guys that. 2017, it's cold turkey boom. It's one of the things that I overcame. But I believe you should have the right to do it if you want. You know, if they're going to send you to war, 18 to die, you should be able to smoke a cigarette if you so choose. The Biden administration jumping up and saying, oh, we're going to ban this, we're going to ban that. This whole thing started, seriously, this whole thing started a little bit ago, some years ago, when they brought up the talk of the menthol cigarettes. Had everything to do with menthol. They were going to go down the menthol lane, attack that route, and eventually, if they could get away with it, do a full court press ban on cigarettes altogether. But they didn't want to do that during election time because they felt that it would affect the election in a negative way. Blah, blah, blah. This and that. So they waited. But now that, Trump's won, they're obviously going out the door. They're doing whatever they can to do, stupid, childish, treasonous stuff like this. Like, you should have an option. If you want to smoke a cigarette, it should be an option. I don't suggest you do it. Again, I quit. If you're smoking, I say you should try to quit. But if you want to, you should be free to choose. And that's what you're losing here. Freedom. Right in front of your face. We can call this the land of the free. It's something every time we turn around. You see it from different ways. Again, from the health aspect, I say don't do it, period. But if you're going to do it, you should have freedom of choice. And again, it's I see it as an attack on your freedom. I want to mention this. I'm not going to play any of this, but there's a leak apparently here. A Veteran Affairs insider reveals a memo that's detailing a presidential inauguration medical personnel support deployment request, meaning that they're trying to get medical personnel deployed. And nothing like this has happened in modern time. They say that's not normal. And they're like, hold on, what is this about? What are they expecting? So I just wanted to throw it out there. We already know we're in a crazy window for anything to happen. But when you see something like this, it just adds to it. Kind of confirms that atmosphere is ripe for something crazy. Click through here to... there was another incident in the Capitol. Capitol Police arresting a man armed with a machete and knives. He was attempting to enter the Capitol ahead of Trump's visit. So, hold up. What? So, I've seen some crazy stuff. People jumping the fence throughout the years and people doing crazy stuff. And You got some loonies out there, but this, with everything else going down and everything that's happened around Trump, I don't know. It was a car incident the other day, and now this. Just keeping track of them. Biden also confirms he's considering preemptive pardons, which is crazy. It's one thing to pardon someone, which he's already done, of like crimes they're like being charged on and this and that, but he's preemptive is basically saying that like you're like this is kind of dicey because you're admitting right when you do it that like, all right, I'm gonna give a preemptive pardon to Anthony Fauci for any blah blah blah. That's like admitting that there's something that he could be persecuted for going on. Clearly. And it kind of paints a picture that everyone that you say that about is like guilty. And you're trying to protect their tail. Obviously, it's what you're doing on your way out the door. So I'm just kind of like, like this is what extent is this going to go to? I don't know. We're about to see, I think. We're about to see some people get some preemptive pardons. Trump is dropping an executive order, and you better hope he does this. And this is on gas stoves. Remember, last week I told you Biden just signed into law, again, one of these attacks on his way out. He put this thing into effect attacking natural gas water heaters. Anything that you can use off-grid to make your life easier. It made the normal everyday one price increase by $450. That is what Biden just did. Now, you see Trump's trying to protect the gas stoves. If you don't have one of them, if they keep it going the way that the left's doing, this isn't good. They're trying to attack all these things that take away your freedom. And you're right. If you got a natural gas pocket on your property, I mean, you're hooked up. I mean, I'm not so sure people realize this. I mean, you go out and you find a piece of property that's got natural gas and you can put a tap on it, hook up to it. I mean, you're constantly just filling your tank right there off of it, and the tank fueling your home. You can be running your hot water heater. You could be running your stoves and ovens. You could be running your dryers. But see, they know this, and they don't want you to be able to do that, take advantage of that. So they're trying to attack it openly. It's ridiculous. But that would be the best setup right there. If you had a piece of property that had gas on it, usually where there's coal, there's natural gas. I know some people that are in the business, and they've told me that time and time again. You hit a pocket, tap into it, it's your energy, man. It's fueling all your stuff. And it's, they hate that. They hate that God gave you some resources, man. That this is what they do. They hate it so bad you can see it bleeding through. They're attacking it like this. They don't want you to have that dependence. And again, this goes all the way back to J.P. Morgan Chase, the Great Depression, them not in Tesla, in power, period. Them not wanting you to tap into Tesla energy. They wanted to put a meter on your home to control you. Okay? And speaking of that, the meters in all these fires, remember that? Connected into? So, man, there's so much going on with all this stuff. Coming up here on top of the hour, we'll cover a couple more here and take us out. Trump has got a big case coming up here on the 10th. He's asking them to halt it. Okay? We'll see what happens there. And Trump is trying to declare the Gulf of Mexico be renamed, and they drew up all the stuff. It's going to be renamed to the Gulf of America. All right, so there's paperwork, MGT, Marjorie Green Taylor, whatever, she drew up all the paperwork to make this happen. So we could see the Gulf of Mexico literally get a big name change to the Gulf of America. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's something happening. I told you on the last stream, I had it in the title, North American Union. There is something huge happening. There's a plan. Okay? Just as I told you earlier, as kind of an investigator could see that someone had a meeting and told all of the insurance companies a big blaze was going to happen, so they canceled all this stuff. Just as we knew there was a meeting there. There's been a big meeting about a North American Union. It's in the big meeting. It's in the plans. And it's everywhere. Trump is telegraphing it everywhere. They've been dropping the seeds in there first. It's black magic is what it is. You're watching it at its finest. In live action is what you're doing. People don't even realize it. He first comes out and drops the seeds before anyone could figure it out. And he says things like, Panama, this and that. And it catches some attention, gets some blowback from some leaders here and there, but it has serious tone to it. What do you mean, Panama? Well, yeah, China's down there trying to control it. If we don't control it, they're going to control it. If they control it, then we don't have no way through. And, we're the ones that, sold it for $1 and, all this other crap. He's arguing this, and, everyone's behind it. Now, Greenland, it's owned and controlled by Denmark. They're saying, we're not for sale. And then Canada, he said Canada can become the 51st state. He said it over and over. Why all of a sudden is there this talk of snatching up all these places? Okay? Well, he said it himself when it comes to Greenland. The economic value, all the natural resources, and the fact that it stretches up into the Arctic. And when this becomes a battle now with Russia over resources, this is real. You start to see what's happening here. Look what it says. Trump not ruling out using military force to reclaim the Panama Canal and Greenland. Why? Because if you couple these two spots with Mexico and Canada, and not even so much Mexico, but just there's this thing with Canada right now, wide open, with Trudeau stepping down all of a sudden out of nowhere. It's opening this door for, as didn't I tell you and play you the clip? Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, he's from Canada. He was saying it. He goes, I think I could pitch this to the people of Canada, and all 40-some million would agree with me that an economic union between the United States and Canada would be great. A military economic union. And how they would pitch it and win over all the people and just buffalo them is they'll just tell them, oh, yeah, well, you're America will stay America and Canada will stay America. They keep their sovereignty. This is just for economic and military, which is everything, which is the lifeline of everything, They will buffalo them that easy, and they will accept it. And this becomes the North American Union that quick, and they'll roll out their Amero, is what they'll do. It will counter BRICS digitally, and they'll back up by gold. And who knows? He can make an attack to go after the gold. All that will cause it to go through the roof as well. Any wartime measures, well, dude, we're going into a state of emergency day one under Trump. Dude, gold is probably going to go to tear. It did good last time when he was in there. Gold did, just to tell you some history, or some assets that perform well. And gold is just it's going to go parabolic here at some point. It usually does in major crisis. When everyone's running around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to get bread and all this, just like COVID, when That it's the last thing people are thinking about buying at that moment, but that's usually those dips are the dips that you want to buy if you can. And look at this, Canada kind of trolling Trump like maybe we should just buy Alaska. Trying to, be some smart Alex back. But I see something bigger. I see that there's a huge plan here. And it's not secret now, economically and militarily, to link us all together. And Trump has boldly stated it out there, and it's where it's at. And look at this. I'll end it with this. For everyone that said, oh, Trump won't start this, won't do this. Well, yeah, you better believe they telegraphed that Iran wants to try to assassinate Trump on all these things. Trump. Look at this. Preemptive strikes on Iran will be a real possibility under Trump. So just know, this isn't going to be like last time. Man, all right, man. Let me check the chat here, and we're going to shut it down for the evening. Take us out of here and some music. Someone, thank you for those coffees. Been a subscriber since I created the channel. Glad to support you. Much love. Hey, thank you. Thank you for the support. It means more than you know. And I appreciate it, man. All you guys. Yeah, man. Thank you. Again. Man, it's crazy times. All this is just enough to leave your head spinning, right? It's a lot. I look to be back on Friday, God willing. I don't know, man. I'm still stuck up here on this mountain. I'll share that real quick. So you don't know where I'm at. I've got the snow and the ice hit us hard, and we prepared to the best of our ability, but there's no other way to it that when you've got a mountain road, in the winter, especially covered in snow, that covered in ice, this treacherous stuff that people down here in the bottom flat still can't get out. They're still stuck. That I figured would have been able to make it out, but the guys that I know that got the big trucks, knobby tires, and everything that should have made it down the road today, did not make it down the road. Almost sent them into the creek. So they had to double back. And everybody around here has been frozen in. Luckily, they got power, and some of the road is the main road was cleared. But for anyone like me that's got a mountain road, it's a bit tricky. What do? There is no plow that's going to come. There ain't no one else. So I've got a box grader on the tractor that I had to take down and clear. And mind you, it's dumped snow today all day and wasn't even supposed to snow. I'll have to redo this tomorrow to try to get down to the bottom. But I just want to share with you a look at what it's like here up here on this cold ass mountain in the Appalachians. This time of year, 17 degrees right now. And it can be beautiful, a beautiful sight to see the mountain, the snow, and just have get down off the mountain. So this is just me. I'm gonna mute it there. This is me just coming down, and I had to make dozens of passes, See right here, gather till I'm full, pull off to the side, dump it, and keep doing it. And it's still, even though I cleared it, I can't take a car down that. You see what I'm saying? It's just part of mountain life. You can't salt it. can't do gravel road. You can't salt it if you don't know. It'd become a mushy mess and stuff like that. Usually you just got to give it time and let it thaw out. But this was covered in ice, and we're in like a super freeze. Like I said, 16 degrees in the 20s during the day, so there is no thawing out. So this is like a mile straight down a mountain on this road, and yeah, that's what you got to do out here in the Appalachians, just to get down to a neighbor. So I'm gonna try to get with some cats tomorrow. I'm gonna have to redo. I'm gonna have to do everything you see me do right here again tomorrow. Yeah, a long mountain driveway. So some of the things you go through in the mountains, but you can see the animal tracks there on the road. And yeah, I don't know when it'll be in these conditions, with more snow incoming. I don't know when I'll be able to even get a vehicle off my mountain. I'll probably have to take a tractor. Matter of fact, taking a tractor down to meet with some neighbors tomorrow to see if somebody can get into town, because nobody else. It's been that bad. Just everybody's been knocked out of commission. Most people had no power. I luckily had power because of my setup. I'm not on the grid like they are. But even then, on cloudy, super cloudy days, if we've got to go to generators, that all runs off gas. And this would always be the roughest, hardest part of a year for anyone, living off grid or anything like that, especially. But yeah, hopefully we get to town tomorrow for the first time since this all happened. And then we've got a couple storms coming in behind it. So if at any point I'm not live, it's because I'm dealing with all that stuff. Who knows what else. So try to drop updates on Twitter, on X. Make sure you're following me there. Much love. God bless. Take us out of here in some music. And see you guys on the next one. Zachary, thank you for the coffee. Much love. Much love to you, the Ohio listeners, all the listeners out there. I thank you. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Much love, Crown Trolls. Hope you guys are doing good. I know you got your own battles over there. Much love, too. Much love, my brother. And good night. Stay safe, everyone out there, for real. Eon. Much love. God bless. Legendary. Kevin. Everybody out there that just joined, thanks to Kevin. Welcome to the underground.